A Republican lawmaker in the state of Arizona has found an interesting way to kill two birds with one stone. Now, there's the issue of pornography, which right-wingers in the country think is a real problem, even though the majority of porn is viewed in the Rust Belt here in the United States. And then there's the issue of funding the border wall, something that Democrats in Congress have been fighting against. Well, this lawmaker thinks that maybe it would be a good idea to force companies to block porn on their devices. And the only way that you can unblock it is if you pay the state of Arizona $20. Then you get the unblocked porn, and that $20 will go toward funding Trump's border wall.
So here's the first word I have to say about this: freedom. What happened? I thought the right wing was in favor of freedom. All of a sudden, no, don't watch the things that I don't want your eyes to go to places I don't want you to see. So I will now control your eyes, your body, everything you do, because I'm in favor of freedom. Freedom? What? You're not in favor of freedom, okay? And then second of all, are they going to keep a list of the people who said, yes, please, I'll pay you the $20 so you can unblock my computer? And then what, they're gonna use that list for what reason? Political reasons?
I mean, this is big government. This is you would have to pay the state of Arizona. You'd pay the government $20 so you can get the porn on your computer or whatever device you choose to watch it on. And so the representative who proposed this is Gail Griffin, and it's known as House Bill 2444. It's the Human Trafficking and Child Exploitation Act, which would make distributors of devices, sounds like regulation, that allow access to the internet to install software to make porn not viewable. Again, to remove that blocking software, a person would have to pay the state $20. Now, one other thing I want to quickly mention about this. This is the first piece of legislation that's been proposed in reference to building the border wall, but similar legislation has been proposed in many other states, including Virginia, Kentucky, Alabama, Utah, Rhode Island, and South Carolina. And the person behind this, the person who's been fighting hard to, weird word, sorry. The person who's been fighting to get lawmakers to propose this type of legislation is a guy named Mark Sevier. And he has a bunch of other names that he goes by, but that's the main name.
Of course he does.
I know.
Right?
No, but what I love about this story is he tried to marry a computer to protest same-sex marriage.
Of course.
And he's been fighting against porn because he was addicted to porn.
He sued Apple for his obsession with porn.
His addiction, he was addicted to it.
Yeah, Steve Jobs didn't make you buy an IFAP, okay? You made that choice. What happened to personal responsibility? I mean, God, right wing, they are the most hypocritical people you have ever seen. Personal responsibility, no. Apple made me jack off. They made me do it. I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I'm suing them. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Steve Jobs made me do jobs on myself. Okay. So get out of our lives. And they say liberals want to control your lives. We don't want anything to do with your lives. With whatever the thing you're doing on your iPad, I don't want any part of it. Just leave us alone, man. Jesus Christ, with this constant oppression and their big government that won't get off our back. And all these right wings love this stuff. Ben Shapiro wrote a whole book about, you shouldn't listen to porn and you shouldn't watch porn. Who listens to porn, by the way?
I don't know. I'm sure that's a thing. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to tell you what to do with your life. I hate big government, but I'm going to judge you. I'm going to judge for every personal thing that you do. Okay, well, that's interesting. So, and another thing I can't stand is they called it Human Trafficking and Child Exploitation Prevention Act. It has nothing to do with child exploitation.
Nothing.
It has to do with normal porn, right? So and ironically what it does is it exploits child exploitation for their own political purposes. They name it that when it's got nothing to do with that, just so that they can get people to say, oh, wait, look, man, porn is the equivalent of child trafficking. No, it's not.
It's just
no, it's not. You conflated those two things, and when you do, you actually hurt the cause of stopping people who actually do human trafficking and child exploitation. Because now you've cried wolf so many times that people are going to go, oh no, if it's named that, it probably is nonsense and doesn't mean anything. It's probably some sort of right-wing trap that actually is going to take away your freedoms.
Right.
So they're exploiting this same tragedy. They're the worst.
Well, one thing that I wondered in the context of this story is who's the arbiter of what's deemed pornographic material? So look, we know that.
I know.
So is
it's going to be Mark Sevier. He's going to be, wait, I'm on it. I'm on it, guys. I'm going to determine what's porn or not. Steve Jobs is going to make me do it.
Yeah, it'll be his full-time job. He's just going to monitor porn all day to figure out what is and isn't porn. But so would photo shoots featuring models who are nude in like a lesbian situation, would that be considered porn that should be blocked?
Because then we might have to ban pictures of the first lady.
And I'm not bringing that up because I want to judge her or anything like that. I'm just saying.
No, you guys want to judge her.
I'm just saying that the right wing needs to be consistent. So if they're against porn and they think that it's disgusting and they think that it's immoral and it should be looked down upon, then they can't, take the moral high ground when they're defending the first lady when she does get judged by people for taking those photos.
And look, I think it's greatly counterproductive to their own efforts as well. Because the overwhelming majority of their own voters love porn, can't get enough of it. I mean, look, some of those dudes are incels. They would say, I'm involuntarily celibate, like they discovered it. Yeah, like, oh really? Whereas everybody else is voluntarily celibate in high school. Okay, anyway, so they're like, what do you think they're doing if they're involuntarily celibate? They're not also voluntarily not watching porn. They're watching it. But then they're like, yeah, but Ben Shapiro's right, porn's terrible. I gotta watch it again, right? Big government's terrible. I'll give you 220, I'll give you 200, I'll give you 2,000. Please unblock my computer, right? Just leave us alone, man, leave us alone. If you wanna have your own psychosis and your own mania about what you watch and don't watch, and you wanna be Opus Dei and flag, to beat yourself, self-flagellation in a couple of different ways, okay, so, have at it, Hoss, because we're progressives, we're not here to judge, okay? But leave the rest of us alone. Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.